Under the bright lights of the pregame event, the stadium buzzed with energy long before the first pitch. Fans had gathered hours ahead of time, eager to catch a glimpse of the star pitcher, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, whose every move now draws global attention. What no one expected, however, was just how far he would go to make this moment special for those in attendance. Yamamoto didn't just appear as a superstar preparing for battle, he arrived as a humble, grateful man ready to connect deeply with the fans who have supported him throughout his journey. As the gates opened and the VIPs took their seats near the field, the anticipation grew louder. The crowd could see him warming up in the distance, but soon he stopped, turned, and began walking toward them. Cameras flashed, and gasps filled the air. Yamamoto wasn't just passing by, he was making his way directly to the stands, holding signed baseballs in his hands. It was a moment that instantly melted every heart in the audience. He smiled warmly as he greeted each person in the front row. One by one, he handed out baseballs, shook hands, and even exchanged short conversations with the lucky fans. You could see the disbelief in their eyes. These weren't ordinary fans, many were longtime supporters, some traveling from across the country just to see him pitch live. To them, this was more than a meet and greet, it was a once-in-a-lifetime connection with their hero. One elderly fan, wearing an old Oryx Buffaloes jersey, held back tears as Yamamoto signed his hat. She told him she had been watching his games since his debut, and Yamamoto, clearly moved, bowed slightly and thanked her personally. That small, genuine gesture spoke louder than any autograph could. It reminded everyone watching why he's so deeply respected, not just for his skill, but for his grace and humility. Another highlight came when a group of children holding handmade banners caught his eye. Without hesitation, Yamamoto walked over, crouched down, and took photos with them. He even mimicked their poses, playfully pretending to pitch toward the camera. Laughter filled the air, and that laughter echoed throughout the stadium, a beautiful reminder of baseball's simple joy. Behind the scenes, the staff and security team looked surprised but supportive. They knew this wasn't planned. Yamamoto's spontaneous interaction delayed his pregame routine slightly, but he didn't care. He wanted to give something genuine back to the fans before stepping onto the mound. It was a decision that showed how much heart he puts into everything he does, both on and off the field. Reporters watching from the sidelines whispered among themselves, realizing they were witnessing something rare. Superstars often wave from a distance, but Yamamoto's approach was personal, emotional, and sincere. Every handshake, every smile seemed to recharge the atmosphere, filling the stadium with warmth before the intensity of competition began. As the music played in the background, Yamamoto took a few steps back, waving to the crowd as they cheered louder and louder. You could feel the emotional connection building, a mutual respect between athlete and audience. Fans chanted his name rhythmically, their voices merging into a thunderous wave that rolled across the stadium. He then took off his cap and raised it high, acknowledging their love and support. It wasn't a rehearsed move. It was instinctive, a simple, human way of saying, "I see you. Thank you for being here." That one gesture turned into a viral moment online, spreading across social media within minutes. One fan's video captured his exact smile as he turned back toward the field. The clip exploded in popularity, with comments pouring in from around the world praising his humility. Even fans from opposing teams couldn't help but express admiration. "This is what a true professional looks like," one viewer commented. "Not just a pitcher, but a man of respect." As the event continued, Yamamoto moved toward the training area, but not before signing a final baseball for a young fan in a Dodgers cap. He placed the ball directly in the child's hand, gave a quick pat on the shoulder, and smiled before walking away. That child's face lit up like the lights above the field, pure happiness captured forever in memory. The announcer's voice soon echoed through the speakers, calling attention to the start of the match. But even as the game approached, fans couldn't stop talking about what they had just experienced. The energy in the stands had transformed completely. It was no longer just excitement for the game, it was gratitude for witnessing something so real. Players from both teams glanced over at the stands, noticing the heightened atmosphere. Some teammates of Yamamoto even clapped in his direction, clearly proud of what he had done. The bond between him and his supporters had become something almost sacred, built not on performance alone, but on compassion. As the warm-ups resumed, Yamamoto took a moment to stretch and breathe. You could see his focus return, but there was still that gentle smile on his face. Perhaps the encounter with fans reminded him why he loves the game so deeply, not just for victory, but for connection. By the time the first pitch was thrown, the crowd was fully behind him. Every movement he made, every wind-up, every strike sent waves of cheers through the audience. It was as though the entire stadium was pitching alongside him, their hearts synchronized with his rhythm. During the short breaks between innings, screens around the ballpark replayed clips from his earlier fan service. Each time it appeared, applause erupted again. It wasn't just a pregame highlight anymore, it had become the emotional heartbeat of the entire event. On social media, fans continued posting photos and stories. One message read, "He treats us like family." Another wrote, "This is why we'll support Yamamoto forever." Those words reflected the power of human connection in sports, something statistics could never capture. In the dugout, teammates teased him lightly for being a crowd favorite, but you could see their admiration too. Even the coaches smiled. They understood that gestures like these build legacies, not just records or trophies, but memories that stay with people forever. Later, after a few innings, the camera caught Yamamoto glancing once more toward the stands. Perhaps he was searching for familiar faces, the fans he had just met. It was a small, fleeting moment, but it revealed how deeply he carries those interactions with him. Throughout the match, his performance reflected that same energy. His pitches had precision and confidence, as though fueled by the cheers from earlier. The audience could feel it too. Each strikeout became a shared victory between player and crowd. The post-game atmosphere carried a rare sense of unity. Even after the final out, fans stayed in their seats, hoping to see him one last time. Yamamoto, exhausted but glowing with satisfaction, stepped back onto the field, waved again, and bowed deeply. It was his way of saying, "I gave my best, thank you for giving yours." He then pointed toward the section of VIPs he had met earlier, mouthing, "Thank you," as cameras zoomed in. Many waved back, their faces filled with emotion. It was clear that this wasn't just another pre-game event, it was an unforgettable chapter in his story. That night, news outlets and sports channels replayed the footage repeatedly. Analysts discussed how his warmth off the field reflects his discipline on it. Some even said that Yamamoto's charisma could redefine how athletes connect with fans in the modern era. Journalists highlighted one key moment, when he paused his warm-up to sign a ball for a crying fan. That instant became symbolic, the idea that greatness isn't only measured in speed or strikeouts, but in compassion and humility. As the days passed, fans online shared stories about how much that moment meant to them. Even those who weren't present felt part of it through the videos. "It made me proud just to be a baseball fan," one commenter wrote. International media picked it up as well, showing clips of Yamamoto's kindness to audiences who may not even follow Japanese baseball. Suddenly, his name wasn't just associated with athletic excellence, it stood for empathy, respect, and connection. Back home, children imitated his gestures, pretending to hand out baseballs before their own games. Coaches encouraged players to watch how he interacted with fans, calling it the true spirit of sportsmanship. Meanwhile, Yamamoto himself remained humble. In interviews, he simply said, "I just wanted to thank the people who always cheer for me." There was no ego, no need for attention, only sincerity. Even rival players commented on his behavior, expressing admiration. One opponent remarked, "He's not just pitching against us, he's lifting the whole game higher." That statement perfectly summed up the atmosphere surrounding him. Weeks later, when highlights of the season were compiled, this event was placed among the top moments, not for its technical brilliance, but for its emotional impact. It was a rare example of how sports can bridge hearts across all barriers. Fans who were there still talk about it as the day Yamamoto made them feel like part of his team. They describe it as warm, magical, and unforgettable, something that will stay etched in their memories forever. And perhaps that's what defines true greatness. Not just the power of a fastball or the glory of a victory, but the courage to stop, look into the crowd, and give back, even for a few moments before the game begins. That day, Yoshinobu Yamamoto didn't just prepare for another match. He created a story, one that will continue to inspire, reminding everyone that even in the world of fierce competition, kindness is what truly wins hearts. Through his actions, he proved that baseball isn't only about records or fame. It's about the people who believe, cheer, and share those moments with you. And that's exactly what made this event, and Yamamoto himself, truly unforgettable. In a world where athletes often stay distant behind security lines and flashing cameras, Yamamoto broke that wall effortlessly. He reached out, he connected, and he left every single fan with something priceless, a memory filled with warmth, sincerity, and joy. And as the crowd slowly exited the stadium that evening, the whispers of excitement still lingered in the air. Did you see how he smiled? He waved right at us. That's why he's special. Those simple words captured the heart of it all. It was more than a pre-game appearance. It was a human moment, one that transcended fame, sport, and even language. The moment Yoshinobu Yamamoto turned a baseball game into something far deeper, a celebration of connection between a hero and his people.